Commissioner, you're so antisocial today. Join us.
And he's got a suit.
Huh?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
No, I understand.
Okay. Can you hear me? What's your professional opinion? Is it loud enough? Do you like it?
Fine.
Good, beautiful.
Can we hear it?
He wants it a touch louder. Okay, Dan, is this good for you now?
Oh,
okay.
Dan.
All right.
All right, Dan. Dan.
All right. Uh-oh. They're counting 2 down. I'm going to tell 2 when they get here if we start. Hold all these people in power accountable for us not waiting. Okay.
Buffalo News is
Okay,
here.
good. Thank you.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, 2, we want to ask you the tough question. Why were you late?
Shining. Alicia said I'm shining.
Okay. Don't forget from Councilmember, I need some dates.
I got it.
Oh, you got some dates for me? Okay.
I meant to hand them to you.
Okay.
I wanted to be so and just go boom. And
Boom.
Jan and Rashida.
Mark, have 2 minutes passed?
Yes.
Okay.
They're like 10 minutes away, so let's go.
All right, we're going to go. Well, I want to thank all of the members of the media for joining us today. Beautiful day in the city of Buffalo. I'm very pleased to be here with the District Council member, Ellicott District Council member Darius Pridgeon, and the Majority Leader of the Buffalo Common Council, Maston District Council member Damone Smith, and our Commissioner of Public Works, Steve Stepniak. Dan, do we have to wait?
Yeah, his mic just went.
Okay.
It looks like God is with 2. It's God holding up.
Wow.
Two must have prayed.
Dan, I was on a roll there, Dan. I was rolling.
We got a spare mic battery.
Whoa!
Oh, Lord.
This isn't going to end well, I tell you.
This is going to be on America's bloopers.
Wow. Ellicott.
Dan, how's the audio?
Audio's great.
All right, good. How's everything else?
It works fine.
We all good? Good.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank all the members of the media for joining us today. Very pleased to be here with the District Council member for this area, Ellicott District Council member Darius Pridgeon, and the Majority Leader of the Buffalo City Council, Damone Smith, who is the Maston District Council member, and our Commissioner of Public Works, Steve Stepniak. I see that there are a number of residents of the Ellicott District, namely the Fruitbelt community, that are here. The principal of this great school is here with us, and we are very pleased to announce that we are going to be doing infrastructure improvements in the Fruitbelt area around the medical campus and these neighborhoods of $3.2 million. Thank you. You can clap on that. That also includes $1.1 million that the city was able to secure a few years ago from the sale of Goodrich Street to the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus for the construction of the GVI building. So this is a very proud day as we make these infrastructure investments that are so critical to the continued growth, investment, and success of the medical campus. They're also important to the stability, the strength, and the growth of the neighborhoods throughout the Fruit Belt. These neighborhoods and these neighbors have hung on through a lot. And now this neighborhood is experiencing some significant growth and investment. So just as millions of dollars are being pumped into the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, we are pumping millions of dollars of investment into the infrastructure of this community. We want to make sure that we retain the great residents that we have living here in the Fruit Belt, and we want to send a message to those who are going to be employed at the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. It's expected over the next 4 years that more than 5,000 new jobs are going to be created. We want them to know that the city of Buffalo should be the preferred address of choice when they're looking for homes. So very pleased to be here with Councilmember Pridgen, who is a powerful advocate of downtown development, residential development, and neighborhood stability, and the Majority Leader of the City Council, Majority Leader Damone Smith, who has been very supportive of the city's infrastructure investment program. We're spending a lot of money in neighborhoods all over the city on infrastructure. It wouldn't be possible for me to get those allocations through without a supportive city council, and very pleased to stand with these two great men who have been so supportive of these investments citywide. I also want to note the work of our Department of Public Works. This is going to be another incredibly busy season of paving, of sidewalks, of curbs, of other infrastructure investment, and this department, under the leadership of Commissioner Stepniak, always rises to the task to get those projects done. Now it is my great pleasure to turn the microphone over to the Ellicott District Council Member, Councilmember Darius Pridgen.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember.
And thank you for your administration, our Majority Leader, for investing back in the neighborhood. We hear a lot of talk about the growth of the medical campus, and I think that it's important that the residents of the city of Buffalo and the stakeholders understand that we believe that the people who live in this community, the people who wake up in this community and lay their head down in this community, that their streets, sidewalks, that crime, employment, all of these things are important to this council member, to this mayor, for them also. Because when there was no medical campus, we had people still living in the Fruit Belt. When no one was paying attention to this area past years, the people of this community stayed. So it is a great day to see not only the campus growing, but the residential area growing around the Fruit Belt, because it's been these residents who have kept the Fruit Belt stable, who have kept the Fruit Belt alive. And so I want to thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the Commissioner, who always has his ear to the ground, knows the areas. I don't think I've ever met a person who can remember every street in the city and every sidewalk that needs to be done more than I have of the Commissioner that you have placed there. So it's a great day for the residents, the people, the schools, and the stakeholders of the Ellicott District. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. You know, one thing I didn't mention is that Councilmember Pridgen and Councilmember Smith are also very tough taskmasters. When there are infrastructure needs, when there are issues in their community, we hear from them loud and clear. And we hear from them every week on behalf of the people that live in their neighborhoods. I mentioned that while this is not Councilmember Smith's district, he has been a very powerful advocate of the city's infrastructure program. Last year, we spent over $10 million citywide on infrastructure issues, and we're going to come close to that this year. We are going to be using a combination of federal, state, city funds, capital bond funds, and so it's my pleasure to ask Councilmember Damone Smith, as Majority Leader, speaking on behalf of the other members of the council, to say a few words.
Well, we'd like to thank the mayor for his investment in the community, and if you start to take a look citywide, see where the investments are, a lot of times they're around schools where children have to walk, parents have to walk. So we have nice walkable neighborhoods so children can get back and forth, as well as neighbors can walk up and down the street, because that's what we want to encourage. A couple of years ago, the city council had to approve the sale of Goodrich Avenue to the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. We did that with the caveat that the money that was obtained from the sale will be reinvested into the community. And today is the delivery on that promise. So a promise was delivered, that the money that was sold, that the money received from the sale is now being invested and back into this community, as well as with a couple of more $1 million as well. So today is a day of rejoicement and a day of appreciation, and today to let neighbors know that we always have you in our forethoughts. Thank you.
You know, as we conclude, I'm glad that Councilmember Pridgeon and Councilmember Smith made those points. Several years ago, when the medical campus approached us about selling a city street to them for the continued growth of the medical campus, one of the things that we wanted to do, and Councilmember Pridgeon and I went to the residents of this community and asked for their input and asked for and informed them that we were looking at selling the street. And the residents of this community were supportive of that. But one of the things that they asked was that in that transaction that we put money back into this community. That was a commitment that we made a couple of years ago, and so very pleased now to be honoring that commitment of not only putting that $1.1 million through the sale of Goodrich Street into the Fruitbelt community, but also adding more money to it. So this total investment in the Fruitbelt community is going to be $3.2 million. It is going to be repaved streets. It's going to be sidewalks. It's going to be curbs. In some cases, it's going to be new lighting. More energy efficient lighting, LED lighting that will be brighter but also cheaper, making the neighborhood safer. And it is so important that we recognize the commitment of this community, that we recognize the investment of this community. And so now when the residents are driving in and out of their neighborhood, when parents are dropping off their children, when teachers come here to work, when doctors and patients come into this community, this is going to be one of the showplace neighborhoods in the city of Buffalo. So again, thank you to the residents. Thank you to Councilmember Darius Pridgeon for his strong support, advocacy, and leadership in this community. And thank you to Councilmember Damone Smith for being a strong supporter of the city's infrastructure investments. With that, I'll conclude and open up to any questions that the media has of me or the two council members that are standing with me.